Of the 24 chapters, this is chapter 12, Iðunn and Bragi, Apples of Immortality, Baldur, Týr, Ullur, Þrymur and Freyja, Loki and Baldur, Forseti in Glitnir. Literacy on the symbolic language of myths and kvæði, sacred poems, spot the allegory in God's spells. I'm telling thee one thing, we are Ginnungagap. We are the great void, the womb of the universe, the fullness, truth, eternity, reality, divinity. Óðinn given to Óðinn, myself given to myself. Havamál, vísa 138 and on. Gnothi sehautan, know thyself, be pure consciousness. The perpetual cycles in our life. Ullur, the fire of knowledge that burns up all ignorance, purifies, renders man purer and purer. Týr is pure thought, when thought experiences thought alone in purity. Gungnir is vibrations, creation, when vibrations seem to be these so-called particles. Gungnir, the vibrating weapon of consciousness, Óðinn, the man on earth, Loki, lower part of the cycle on this picture, enjoys bounty from nature when he gives back, if he gives back, and the rain comes at the right time. Goddess Sif is a harvest goddess. The Gandur, Hamsa, Gander, goose, swan guise, in which we fly to the sky of wisdom when we are pure men, is shown here. Eir, Ila, from Sanskrit Ila, is inner peace and sounds, health as a normal state, ease. All this ease is a mistake. Upper part is heavens and our state in the transcendence, Gladheimar. All this is inside us, waiting for us to rediscover it. Týr is Forn, sacrifice of individuality. His righteousness, the purity of divine lawmaking, pure thought in the self-referral state. Iðunn is a very busy goddess, and she loves Bragi. She indicates the ever-going-on devotion, the perennial task of obtaining the apples of immortality. Every our cell is rejuvenated when we purify ourselves in the field of no duality, Ginnungagap. However old our body becomes, it is ever young. Here is the truth in dying young when we are loved by the gods. Eating the apples of Iðunn is getting in contact with the gods. They abide here inside us. Bragi is skald, bard, which means that he sees the truth and conveys it in kvæði, poems, in the symbolic language of myths, so that the coarse men only see the surface, but those on exalted stages of consciousness learn about the truth by chanting them and hearing them. I think Iðunn gives Bragi her apples. What do you think? Note the 3 roots of askurinn that draw the sap of life from the unknown field, and guess what this has to do with the apples of Iðunn? Personifications are meant to explain and are a way to make the teaching interesting, give life to the wisdom conveyed. But personifications can become a trap, because we do not perceive the metaphor, the symbolic language, the way of conveying the allegory, and take them as people. We have kids' stories where animals speak and reason. Even cups and chairs are animated. It is a way to convey morality. Myths live in folklore and bedtime stories. The little red-hooded girl in the forest is swallowed by a wolf, and so is her grandmother. But we get a reborn that is jumped fully alive out of the wolf's tummy in the end of all the big bad wolf stories. Think also of Sleeping Beauty, Brynhildur, of Cinderella from ashes to palace and new shoes, of Snow White, and of innocent kiss of love to wake us up. Óðinn gives mead to Geri and Freki, but the flow of wisdom, vín valföðurs, is the honey mead for consciousness. Við vín eitt valföður unir, wine alone valfather eternally enjoys. See that what I'm saying? Note, val has many meanings in Icelandic. They, many meanings of a word, make levels upon levels of understanding of the language of myths. And also Freyr sends Skírnir carrying 11 all golden apples as a gift to Gerður. Gerður is one still living in ignorance. See Skírnismál. When Adam ate the juicy sweet apples, he was no longer on the animal stage, and thereby no longer in Paradisos, the fence. A woman got us out of paradise into human responsible life. Thanks should be given to her. Gemisgarðar are the same as paradise, and means that eating the apples is the way out of ignorance into human exalted life, and eventually enlightenment. Not eating the apples, what then does that imply? It's funny that Eve was Adam's second wife, but the serpent was his former wife. Hast thou heard this before? Professor Antoine Nader, MD, PhD, Beirut, Lebanon, Maharaja Ram, has found our gods in our brain, the holistic way of healing our cosmic counterparts under the guidance of Maharishi. Consciousness is at the basis of all physiological structures in the universe, showing that all physical expressions in nature have their basis in the field of self-referral transcendental consciousness. Maharishi also developed a globalized system of administration from the level of invincibility. These men are great scientists. Maharaja is a great king. Loki, mankind, is my theory, can be very stupid. Bragi without man is not worth much for men. So we should find Bragi within. The only way out of our dim-wittedness is to imbibe Bragi into our nature, get a sip of the mead of wisdom from Gunnlöð in Hnitbjörg. Something about Són, Boðn and Kvasir, and all that symbolic language stuff that we shall learn to understand, as this is vital. Forseti lives in Glitnir. Glit is an open space in the dense wood where the sun can get into the thicket. Forseti, president, should be revered as a god who opens up for the light. All the gods preside over the laws of nature, which are flawless. In Þrymskviða, Þrymur wants Freyja for a wife. Þrymur Þurs is past evolutionary stages, now useless, and we have to get rid of them. In myths, it's called to kill the useless past, and we batter and kill trolls when we get rid of ignorance. Freyja is the space-time form becoming universes. This is my theory. Freyja is the dynamism of the perpetual creative power in the world, and thereby the entire opposite of Þrymur. See Þrymskviða. Never could these extremes meet. That is what Þrymskviða, the funny one, is all about. We should see the symbolic language, see the allegory in the stories. Bragi sees the story hidden inside the story. The story on the surface is the only one that the ignorant man sees. He does not have the depth of understanding. Sons of Odin, Váli the hawk, Haukur, Valur, of morning in us. Viðar, the expansion of happiness, expansion of consciousness. The 4 sons of consciousness are a cycle with 4 spokes. We have heard of cycles and spokes of a wheel, hjul, before, right? Thor is the power in us. He batters trolls, tröll, goes eastwards, and lets into our lives the rays of a rising sun, goddess sun. Trolls are our ignorance, and should not be there at all. They are our mistake. Thor is the power that never gets exhausted, endless power, while Iðunn is the one in us, always with a firm resolve of bringing immortality to us. Iðunn is in us, and the perfect health that her apples bring is in here for all men to enjoy, if we practice the Valkyria of transcending the 3 guna world of thoughts and so-called matter. We can look at all this our effort as if we were getting rid of worn-out skin in order to be reborn to a new and better one. We call it hamskipti, as hamur is a gæs, a skin. Skipti is changing. The verb hemja is to master something or get good power over, catch and hold, bring under control, and hamingja is when we have imbibed the ambrosia, amrit, immortality into our living body. At the same time, we take a huge step forward up to Valhöll in this our ævi. It takes time, and it takes Iðunn, the active goddess, the one firm in her aim and purpose of bringing a perfect life to all.